Diverse from church to church. Every church has a different opinion on the issue, and every gay person is different.
The founder of the Potter's House and well-known preacher, Bishop T.D. Jakes, is presently facing a difficult legal struggle that has made his life even more difficult. A pastor from Pennsylvania named Duane Youngblood has made grave claims against the well-known spiritual leader, who just had a medical crisis during his sermon on November 24th. Jakes sexually molested Youngblood while he was between the ages of 18 and 19, according to Youngblood's public accusations. Jakes and his legal team have taken action as a result of the public and media's attention being drawn to these bombshell charges. Bishop Jakes, who is now in stable condition after a medical assessment after his sermon, has sued Youngblood for defamation in reaction to these allegations. Jakes' lawyers have vehemently refuted the accusations, claiming that Youngblood's statements are not only false but also driven by greed. Jakes' legal team is working hard to preserve the pastor's name and standing in the religious world, arguing that the pastor's activities are motivated by a personal agenda rather than a valid grievance. Both sides are getting ready for what is anticipated to be a very heated confrontation in the courts, as the legal processes have swiftly intensified. Even while the lawsuit's specifics are still being worked out, there is no denying the tension in the case. This case is not only a personal problem for Jakes, a man who has based his legacy on inspiration, religion, and community service, but it also has the potential to affect his reputation both within and outside of the Christian community. The public's attention will be riveted to the drama as Bishop Jakes battles to clear his reputation while managing his own medical recovery as the case develops. Duane Youngblood, a pastor from Pennsylvania, publicly accused Bishop T.D. Jakes of improper conduct during an edition of the Larry Reid Live podcast on October 27th, which brought the accusations against Jakes to light. The instances happened years ago, according to Youngblood, who remembered the first claimed contact after a Pittsburgh church function. According to Youngblood, Jakes tried to kiss and hug him, which he said was an unwanted and awkward move. Youngblood recounted a second meeting in which Jakes allegedly asked if they might share a bed as part of his account of the alleged occurrences. The Christian community, which considers Bishop Jakes to be one of the most important leaders in contemporary ministry, has been rocked by these unsettling accusations. Given Jakes' long-standing reputation for advocating for religion, honesty, and family values, many people were taken aback by the allegations. Given that it concerns a well-respected religious person, Youngblood's disclosure has sparked significant debate. Youngblood, for his part, has said that he had first been reluctant to share his story but felt compelled to do so after a series of personal reflections and struggles. The podcast episode went viral, and the story quickly gained traction with many people speculating on the veracity of the allegations. Following these allegations, Bishop Jakes and his legal team have vehemently denied any wrongdoing, claiming that Youngblood is lying to damage Jakes' name and get money. The charges have no validity, according to Jakes' agents, who have rejected them as unfounded and part of a larger attempt to damage his reputation. A defamation complaint was brought against Youngblood soon after the allegations were made public, and they have pledged to contest the allegations in court. The public's interest in the lawsuit's specifics and the accusations itself has grown as the case progresses. The wider ramifications for Jakes' legacy and the relationship of trust between religious leaders and their communities are now at the center of the discussion as both parties get ready for what could be a protracted court struggle. Even while Jakes is still committed to protecting his image, many are curious about how the case's continued media coverage would impact Jakes and those who see him as a spiritual leader. The well-known preacher and founder of the Potter's House in Dallas, Texas, Bishop T.D. Jakes, is now involved in a legal dispute as a result of grave allegations that have damaged his image. During a Larry Reid Live podcast broadcast on October 27th, Pennsylvania-based preacher Duane Youngblood publicly accused Jakes. According to Youngblood, Jakes sexually attacked him when he was 18 or 19. Youngblood said the assaults happened after a Pittsburgh church function. He further said that at a second visit, Bishop Jakes firmly denied the claims made by Jakes that have generated a great deal of controversy. Jakes responded to the allegations by suing Youngblood in Pennsylvania federal court for defamation. According to the complaint his legal team filed, the accusations are nasty and completely untrue. According to his attorneys, Youngblood wants to harm Jakes' reputation in order to make money. They contend that the pastor has suffered greatly as a result of the accusations, both emotionally and professionally. According to Jake's legal team, the pastor has been significantly impacted both physically and emotionally by the protracted legal struggle as the case moves forward. In fact, they imply that Jake's medical emergency on November 24th could have been directly caused by the stress of the charges. Jake unexpectedly became sick while preaching at his Dallas church, the Potter's House. Fortunately, he was subsequently reported to be in stable condition after being sent for medical treatment. His attorneys have stressed that his health issue was caused in part by the stress of the false claims, as well as the physical and mental strain of the defamation action. In addition to clearing Jake's name, the case, which was brought against Youngblood and other parties connected to the allegations, tries to stop what his legal team refers to be a plot to take advantage of his notoriety. The objective, according to them, is to put an end to Bishop Jake's continuous suffering, emotional, bodily, and spiritual, caused by these unfounded charges. The legal team further emphasized that the case is intended to safeguard Jake's legacy and demonstrate to the public that the accusations are baseless. They want to do this in order to repair his integrity and reputation in the eyes of his followers, congregation, and the general public. Jake is steadfast in his devotion to his beliefs and the welfare of his flock in spite of the difficulties. While negotiating the choppy seas of this legal dispute, he continues to insist on his innocence. Jake's legal team is working hard to expose the truth and shield his name from these hurtful allegations, and now that his health has improved, he is anticipated to continue leading his church. The 57-year-old pastor of Higher Call World Outreach Ministries, Duane Youngblood, and his lawyer, Tyrone Blackburn, took a daring step in their legal dispute with Bishop T.D. Jakes on November 15, 2024. Blackburn, who previously defended Lil Rod in his legal battle against media tycoon Diddy, filed a case for $6 million in return for a speedy and quiet resolution. Youngblood said the demand was intended to resolve the matter without further litigation or public conflict. Youngblood reaffirmed his accusations against Jakes in his lawsuit, including charges of sexual assault and harassment that allegedly occurred when he was 18 or 19. Youngblood's demand for money was presented as a quick solution, but it also carried a serious warning. Youngblood would proceed with a full-fledged lawsuit if Jakes did not fulfill this requirement. According to reports, the lawsuit would seek damages for the claimed harassment and assault, taking the matter to a court battle and drawing further attention from the public. Triblev reports that this legal threat coincides with Youngblood's pursuit of redress for the harm he alleges he endured at the hands of Jakes over 3 decades ago. Bishop Jakes and his legal team have forcefully denied the charges, claiming that Youngblood is using the bogus allegations as part of a conspiracy to defraud the pastor of his money. Jake's lawyers contend that Youngblood is using the accusations to further his own financial interests, accusing him of fabricating false information in an attempt to get a large settlement. In response, the team filed a defamation action to fight what they see as a purposeful effort to damage Jake's image, arguing that the charges are false. According to Jake's legal team, the timing of the charges and the monetary demand make it abundantly evident that Youngblood's claims are motivated by exploitation. Jake's court brief, which portrays the whole incident as a planned action intended to capitalize on the pastor's notoriety, reinforced this viewpoint. The allegations will eventually enable Jakes to restore his position in the public spotlight and within his community, and he is committed to clarifying his name and repairing his image as the court struggle progresses. Jakes has already suffered from the strain of the protracted legal drama. In late November, he had a medical emergency while preaching. According to his team, the stress of the legal battle could have contributed. As the case progresses, it is unclear whether Youngblood's demand of $6 million will be fulfilled or if it will turn into a protracted legal dispute that might continue to have serious consequences for both sides. In reaction to Duane Youngblood's charges, Bishop T.D. Jakes and his legal team have strongly refuted the accusations and said that they believe they are false. Jakes firmly believes in helping real victims of sexual assault, according to the filing, stressing that these people should be handled with the highest regard, compassion, understanding, and sympathy. He has also stated his opinion that those who really commit such abuse need to be held completely responsible for their deeds. Jake's attorneys, however, have argued that this is not the case with Youngblood's claims, claiming that Youngblood has purposefully attempted to fabricate charges for his own financial and personal gain by manipulating social media and the court system. In addition to refuting the claims of sexual assault, Jake's defamation action provides insight into Youngblood's history. As the court dispute heats up, The petition disclosed that Youngblood is a registered sex offender in the state of Pennsylvania, a revelation that has drawn attention. Following a sudden health crisis during the service at the Potter's House in Dallas, Texas, on Sunday, November 24th, Bishop T.D. Jakes, the adored pastor, spiritual mentor, and internationally renowned leader, left his congregation and millions of internet followers in profound anxiety. Bishop, who was well known for his stirring sermons and unshakable dedication to sharing the gospel, had an unexpected medical emergency that shocked the sanctuary and the world as people watched in real time, uncertain of his status. Worry and concern quickly took over the church, which was crowded with believers anxious to hear Bishop Jakes' counsel. His typical vigor and zeal started to significantly wane halfway through his sermon, which was the moment of worry. Bishop Jake, who was known for his passion and strong presence, seemed to be afflicted by something that was interfering with his ability to give his sermon. His once passionate and conviction-filled speech slowed as he seemed to have trouble breathing. The crowd was immediately alarmed by this abrupt shift in behavior, with many questioning if he had had a heart attack or stroke. There was a noticeable air of panic in the sanctuary as the seriousness of the situation became apparent. While some participants exchanged anxious looks, uncertain of what was going on, others bent their heads in prayer. In contrast to his often vivacious demeanor, Bishop Jakes had sat down for the start of the service. He nonetheless spoke passionately about his affection for the people he serves and his commitment to his vocation. Despite being emotionally charged, his voice struck a chord with the audience, highlighting the value of faith, fortitude, and tenacity. But as the sermon went on, it became evident that something was wrong. Bishop Jakes' motions became uneven, and those closest to the pulpit saw that he was having trouble breathing and speaking clearly. He made an effort to go on with the message in spite of his obvious discomfort. Everyone could see how dedicated he was to his ministry despite his personal struggles. However, it soon became evident that he could not go on. While ushers and security maintained order in the sanctuary, the church's medical team and ministry professionals moved quickly to his help. Many members of the congregation started praying out loud for healing and divine intervention as Bishop Jakes was helped by his staff. As people from all around the globe voiced their concerns, the issue gained international attention, and social media was inundated with words of support and prayers for the beloved pastor's speedy recovery. Even for someone as apparently unstoppable as Bishop Jakes, the episode provided as a sobering reminder of the toll that service may take. Many people considered the significance of his role as a spiritual leader, whose impact extends far beyond the boundaries of the Potter's House after his health concern. Bishop Jakes is regarded as one of the most revered individuals in the Christian world because of his decades-long ministry, which has changed the lives of many people via his leadership, books, films, and sermons. His congregation, as well as others impacted by his teachings worldwide, showered him with love and support after his unexpected health crisis. With their combined prayers filling the air, people across the globe waited anxiously for developments while specifics about his status remained unknown. The assembly held faithful to their faith in spite of the interruption of the service. Many Christians clung to faith when news got out, believing that their pastor would come out stronger than before. Bishop Jakes calmed his congregation with a poignant message amidst the uncertainty, displaying his customary humility and commitment to his vocation. Struck a chord with the audience, who cheered and applauded. His remarks demonstrated the close relationship he has developed with his followers through years of encouraging and mentoring them on their spiritual paths. Bishop Jakes took the microphone and started talking again, but in a more sensitive tone. He expressed his profound affection for the people he serves by saying, "I miss you," he proceeded by drawing a comparison between visiting patients in a hospital and the transformational effect of preaching. "You're receiving more than you gave, even if you believe you're giving something away." As the bishop's remarks emphasized the close bond between pastor and people, his voice was full with a strong feeling of connection. But as the events transpired, an increasing feeling of unease emerged. Bishop Jakes' microphone-wielding hand started to shake a little indication of unease. He tried to hide the vibrations, but some members of the congregation could see them. He was clearly vulnerable at that point, and the audience reacted not just with cheers but also with a greater understanding of their spiritual leader's tenacity and commitment. Bishop Jakes, a man who has dedicated his life to helping others, was experiencing a moment of human weakness that made everyone realize how much responsibility and pressure he bears. Bishop Jakes' tone changed to one that was more prayerful as the service went on. He prayed, "Now, Lord, Let my words and my heart's meditation be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Even though he spoke with humility and respect, his comments were cut short by yet another obvious trembling in his body. He was using a handkerchief, but it dropped out of his fingers and onto the ground, warning everyone that something more serious could be going on. The personnel at the church acted swiftly to make sure the pastor had the care he needed. The attitude changed from one of worship to one of anxiety when the sound system was utilized to request space from the assembly. As the room was filled with whispers of prayer and requests for divine healing, many worshipers kept praying, some of them crying. With a unified faith, the whole congregation, both online and in the cathedral, prayed passionately for Bishop Jake's recovery. The sudden interruption of the service's live transmission increased viewers' anxiety and perplexity. As many conjectured about the reason behind Bishop Jake's unexpected health crisis, social media was inundated with worried comments. While others provided support and expressed their own prayers, many questioned if he had had a heart attack or a stroke. Hashtags like Ake and Pray for Jake's Bishop Jakes gained popularity as individuals from all walks of life expressed their appreciation for the life-changing effects of Jake's ministry. Some speculated amid the influx of worries, with journalists and medical experts talking about the obvious symptoms of worry. Uncertainty was exacerbated by the tardiness of official declarations.